for this exam, the term agent means you. Okay, you're going to be a securities agent. Now, agent is also known as a registered representative. Now, on this exam, however, this is the term that they'll use. So an agent is an individual. So this will be you. When you get your license, you will be an agent. Okay, referred to as an agent under the Uniform Securities Act. Now, as far as the definition is concerned, an individual can only act as an agent when they are representing either a broker-dealer, which we'll list right up here, or an issuer. So if an individual is representing either a broker-dealer or an issuer, and this individual is selling securities on behalf of the issuer or the broker-dealer, they will have to register as an agent at the state level of either the broker-dealer or the issuer. So you kind of start to see how these definitions really work. Why do we have these definitions? Well, under state law, I want to know, as an individual, what I can and what I can't do without having to be licensed. Well, it's set here straightforward. If I'm working for a broker-dealer, remember this is the firm, or an issuer, and I'm selling securities, then I have to register as an agent of either the broker-dealer or the issuer. So, well, a couple of different things tie into this. We'll see all these definitions as we go throughout this section. What's the definition of a broker-dealer? Well, we'll learn that. What's the definition of an issuer? Well, we'll learn that as well. And a big one for this exam is, what's the definition of a security? Okay, what's the definition of a security? Well, it's a very broad definition under the Uniform Securities Act. A couple things that are not considered to be securities. Fixed annuities. What else? Well, we have endowments. Commodities. Okay, these are things that are not considered to be securities under the Uniform Securities Act. Meaning, if I'm selling any of these, even if it's on behalf of a broker-dealer, if this is all I'm selling, I would not have to register as an agent of that broker-dealer. So for example, say I sell fixed annuities, and that's all I sell, and I represent a broker-dealer in selling those fixed annuities. Would I have to register as an agent of the broker-dealer? Answer, no. Do I need a license? Yes. What type of license? An insurance license. Fixed annuities are insurance products. Okay? So what they do on the exam with these definitions, they try and confuse you. Okay? So let's take a look at the definition as it reads here on page 1 and see what it says. Okay, under the heading agent there. An individual who represents a broker-dealer or an issuer. So we've got up here on the board, broker-dealer or issuer. When selling or trying to sell securities. So here we have securities. To the investing public. This individual is considered an agent whether he or she actually receives or simply solicits orders. Agents are also known as registered representatives. So we said that. Next paragraph. The term agent is defined in the Uniform Securities Act so that it can be determined legally who must register, as we said, that's the importance of these definitions, in the state as an agent. If an individual does not fall into the classification of agent as defined by the law, registration process is not necessary. This next sentence is very important, so you might want to highlight this in your notes here. A salaried, no commission individual is not considered an agent if he or she represents issuers in the sale of any securities that are exempt from state registration under the Uniform Securities Act. Okay, now that's a little confusing. So we'll separate this out here. Okay. So he said over here, representing the broker-dealer, if we sell securities, we have to register as an agent of the broker-dealer. No exceptions. Okay, so we'll put that over here. No exceptions there. If we represent the broker-dealer and we're selling securities. Well, what we just said is we're representing an issuer. If we're representing an issuer and we're selling exempt securities, we do not have to register as an agent of the issuer. Okay, well, what does this mean? Well, at the state level, sometimes, in order to be sold, securities do not have to be registered. Meaning, they're exempt from registration. Now, under the Uniform Securities Act, there is a clear, defined number of securities that are exempt from registration at the state level. For example, one of them is government securities, like savings bonds, okay, or treasury bills. Treasury bills or savings bonds, those are government securities. They are designated by the administrator at the state level under the Uniform Securities Act as being exempt securities, meaning they do not have to be registered at the state level to be sold. Now, this exemption is generally granted to safer types of investments. As you would agree, I'm sure government securities are fairly safe investment there. Okay, so let's play out the scenario we saw there in the book, kind of defined for us. I work for the government. I'm a government employee. And I am selling savings bonds. Do I have to register as an agent of the issuer? Who's the issuer? The government. Okay, so I work for the government, employee, selling savings bonds to the general public, which are exempt securities. Would I have to register? No, because I meet that definition we just said there. Representing an issuer, I'm selling exempt securities. Exempt securities are securities that are exempt from registration at the state level. So remember, this only applies over here when we're representing issuers. Now go back over here and say I work for a broker-dealer and I am selling treasury bills. Treasury bills are exempt securities. Those are government securities. Who am I selling them on behalf of? My broker-dealer. Do I have to register as an agent? Yes. Why? Because I'm selling securities. It's exempt, meaning it doesn't have to be registered, but it's still a security. It doesn't matter over here when I'm representing a broker-dealer. So, I know this is very confusing, but you're going to have probably 2 to 3 test questions where they might put you in different scenarios, tell you what you're selling. Do you have to register, yes or no? And if you do have to register, you have to register as an agent of who? Well, it's either going to be one or the other, either the broker-dealer or the issuer.